Good morning, elders, former students, commissioners, friends, and family. My name is Marcia Mirasty, and I'm a member of the Kinno Lake Cree First Nation, and I'm married onto the Flying Dust First Nation. I'm a health director for my community, and I've been working in the area of healing and wellness for the last 20 years. I want to acknowledge those who went to residential school, especially those who were subject to physical abuse, sexual abuse, and those who witnessed trauma. I want to also recognize the non-First Nation people who are here to offer their support. And truthfully, I'm very encouraged by the representation of the church. I also want to thank the TRC Commission and all the staff support for the wonderful job that you've been doing here. I'm here today having made a conscious decision to speak at this national event. And I'm here today with my mother, Dolores Blackman, and my aunties, Mary Ledoux, my mother-in-law, Neva Mirasty, and my auntie, Pelegi Iron. My purpose of speaking today is to encourage you all to heal. I want to encourage everyone listening, both my First Nations and non-First Nations friends and family, to move forward together in a deliberate way to reconcile, rebuild, and restore our relationships, our families, and our communities. We need to talk together. We need to walk together, to pray together, and to advocate for healing and justice. This is an ongoing process and not a one-time event. How do we reconcile? Reconciliation comes from truth, and reconciliation is also a change of behavior. And how do we do this? The first step towards healing is breaking the silence, talking about our experience, the good, the bad, and the ugly. As we talk about our negative past, the deep-rooted shame and the pain will begin to lose its power over us, and we are only as sick as our secrets. The second step, which is a much longer step, is processing our pain, our hurt, and our shame, and converting it into something healing, encouraging, constructive, and positive. It is allowing the grief to wash through and allow healing to take place. The final step is putting closure to the experience. There has to be a moment where we recognize that the destructive way of life does not reverse what has been done to us or what we have done to others. It does not benefit anyone. And we need to choose to close this door of this pain before it destroys us. Healing is about transformation and shift from negative behaviors and thinking to healthy patterns of behavior and thinking. It is about having a clean mind, a pure heart, and the right motives. It is about walking out our beliefs and our values. It is about action. It is about hearing what is the truth and what is right and doing it. Every step of the way involves our connection with the Creator, who gives us strength and courage to move forward. It is not easy. It is not fast. It is a process, and it takes time. Oftentimes, the pattern repeats itself, and we need to address the next issue. And we need to support, love, and encourage one another to keep moving on the right path. Forgiveness is a big idea. Some people say we need to forgive and to forget. The truth is, forgiveness is hard, and forgetting is not really possible. We can forgive, but we can't forget. Forgiveness is hard when we have not been taught how to forgive or we haven't seen it modeled properly. Forgiveness is a choice to set a prisoner free, and that prisoner is you and me, and it's also setting our grandchildren free. Forgetting the past is not necessary. We need to learn our history, understand our experience, and heal from it to make sure that something like this does not happen again in our lifetime. To those who have never given voice to your experience, pray and find the strength to share your story with a friend, counselor, or family. You'll find out that you're not alone, and many have experienced the same thing. To those who were sexually abused, I want to remind you that you were a child. Your abusers were in a position of power and authority. You were young, naive, and you did not know what was happening to you. It's not your fault. You did not ask for the abuse. You are not a bad person, and you're not a mistake. You are important. You are special, and you belong. To those of you who don't know what to do when you hear a story of sexual abuse or severe trauma, I ask that you honor our stories and listen with respect. If you feel compelled, you can shake a person's hand, you can hug them, and you can say, "I'm sorry that that happened to you." And it takes great courage to tell your story, acknowledging, because people need to feel validated and heard. In our healing journey, we also need to understand that we will get triggered from time to time. When this happens, we need to do what is necessary to recover and get on the right path once again. There are options for those affected by residential school to process our pain. We need to take healthy risks and talk to a counselor at the First Nation level, talk to a trusted friend, an elder, a pastor, or a member of the clergy, or a spiritual advisor. We can also seek out a therapist. We can attend workshops, events, and conferences in our communities. We need to find our voice, release the pain, and speak about those unspeakable acts of violence we either witnessed or experienced. We need to learn so many skills that have been displaced, such as conflict resolution. Not many of us First Nations people know how to address conflict. Grief and loss, talking circle ceremonies, traditional parenting, protocols, rites of passage, and healthy relationships. There is a lot of work to be done, and we need to address the needs in our community. And we need healthy elders to guide this process. We all want the best for our children, our grandchildren, and our great-grandchildren. We want them to be healthy, and we want them to be happy. We want them to know who they are as First Nations people, to be proud of who the Creator created them to be. As First Nations people with distinct languages, cultures, and traditions, we want our family to have balance in every area of their lives, mentally, emotionally, physically, and most important, spiritually. In terms of spirituality, the Creator has given us a choice, and we all have a free will. In this free will, we have a choice to pray and how we want to pray. It is important, to have great faith, to be strong in our beliefs and our values. The Creator gives us strength to do things that we cannot do on our own, such as forgiveness, healing, and reconciliation. As First Nations people, we are a spiritual people, and that is our gift. The Creator has a specific plan and a destiny for our lives. He has given all of us gifts, talents, and abilities which relate to our purpose. We need to rise up and become what the Creator created us to be. The truth is that many of our people experienced physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual abuse. Many also experienced sexual abuse at the hands of a person in authority or an older student. Effects of residential school have been passed down from our parents and grandparents who have not addressed the shame and the pain. We have all heard and seen and experienced the effects of secondhand smoking, but there are secondhand impacts from residential school, and these impacts are called intergenerational impacts, and sometimes they're worse. Some of our people came home deeply scarred, and many of these negative behaviors came back to our communities and were repeated to our family members back home. Many of our people struggle with alcohol and drug abuse, problem gambling, prescription drug abuse. There is a lot of stress in our communities. Stress leads to sickness, and we see a lot of sickness in our First Nations, such as diabetes, high blood pressure, and cancer. The truth is, we have a lot of pain, shame, and unresolved trauma in our communities. Every day, we see anger, bitterness, mistrust, mean-spiritedness, jealousy, lateral violence, and gossip. Sexual abuse and incest is hidden until there is a disclosure. All of these issues are interrelated in some way, shape, or form. The outcomes are that we have higher rates of suicide, children in foster care, and higher rates of incarceration. Many of these people are children and grandchildren of former students of residential school. We have dysfunctional families and communities, and we have lost a lot of our teachings. Our people not only need to be retaught, they need to answer the question, why these teachings are important. We are faced with dealing with these issues with inadequate resources. The truth is that healing does cost money, sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't. The residential school experience and impacts are pretty much the same. The people who attended these schools are our parents, grandparents, aunties, uncles, cousins, and friends. My own grandmother, my kukum, went to Alacross. My mushum went to Beauval. And the truth is the abuse was not just limited to federally run residential schools. My mother and my aunties, my in-laws, they all went to residential school. The question becomes, how long will we weep and mourn over the past? How long will we wait for everyone to heal? Some people say they will get well when their leader is healthy, or their spouse, or their children. The truth is, it's up to each and every one of us. It's up to you and me individually to get well and to heal. We can't wait for anyone else, and we can't help anyone who doesn't want help. We're the only ones who can help ourselves. We need to resolve personal trauma and engage with people who are supportive. Healing comes from the inside out. You are never too old, and it's never too late. As we heal ourselves, we strengthen our families and we create stronger communities. The sooner we make the investment to heal, the greater the reward. Reconciliation starts with ourselves, forgiving ourselves. Reconciliation also involves the Creator. We need to get our relationship back with the Creator. We need to get rid of the garbage that separates us from our Maker. We need to shift from discouragement and despair to hope and vision. We need our spirituality. That's where we get our strength and power. Strong First Nation people make stronger communities. We need the strength and courage of a warrior. We are a resilient people. We can and we will get through this chapter of our history. The truth is, no amount of money will ever compensate us for the harms done to our people, and we can't blame the government or white people forever. We have a very important decision to make a conscious choice to heal or to wait for the right time, place, or person to move us forward. The right time or place may never come. And if we wait for other people, we may never move forward. We cannot change others, and we can only change ourselves. As we heal, we will become stronger and more able to call people on their abusive behaviors. We will be able to address conflict in a healthy way and be able to tackle some tough issues that face us on a daily basis. The choice sounds like this: healing or suffering, happiness or stuckness, forgiveness or blame. Where do we want to live our lives? What is the legacy that we're leaving for our children and our grandchildren? The choices we make impact our families. If we are not healthy, how much support can we give our children? On the other hand, what is the reward of healing? A healthy future for our children. The people who experience the most success have families that rally around them and encourage them. In conclusion, I am here today to encourage everyone to take a step towards healing for yourself, your family, and your community. As for me and my house, I choose to heal and move forward. I want to live to become an elder and support my children and my grandchildren and my community to become all that the Creator has created them to be. I want to see our people heal, and I believe it can happen in our lifetime. Now is the time. This is a pivotal moment in our history as First Nations people. My generation needs your generation to heal and to move forward. The best way to have a vision for the future is not just to see it in our mind's eye, but to take action and to create it. We need to be the change we want to see. We can't change the past, but we can create a powerful future for ourselves, our children, and our grandchildren. They are worth it, and we are worth it. Akse, kanaskum tinawao, mercy cho, miigwech, and thank you for listening.